2012, a year that started out very strong, very promising, but eased off a little as the year progressed. Is that how you saw it? And what are the early prospects for 2013?
Yeah, the current year did start out well. I'm not so sure that it actually eased off. The reports from our partners, both in the market and indeed on the ground in Ireland, would suggest that the peak was actually very strong. The CSO figures, are not as strong, and they seem to be a little bit out of kilter at the moment. Now, I've been in a situation in the past when the figures have looked good, and the reports on the ground have been at variance with them, and I much prefer to be in the position that we're in now. But I do think that we're in a good position. I do think it has been a good year in reality on the ground. When the CSO figures came in for 2011, as you saw, the overall visitors were revised upwards to +8%, and the holidaymakers to +15%. And I do think that the holidaymaker element has held up very well during this peak. Of course, it was really crowned, I suppose, by the fantastic performance of the market with the Notre Dame Navy game. I mean, that was really very, very good, and it brought a lot of additional business that wouldn't otherwise have come. And I suppose reminded us all of how valuable a market this is. And I'm delighted to say that the prospects for next year are good. We can't take it for granted, and I know I keep on saying that, Eamon, but with all of the uncertainty caused by the election and things like that, and because of other challenges, economic challenges that continue in the marketplace here, and high unemployment, they won't just come. But for Ireland at this point in time, the vibes are very, very positive.
2012 for us was a reverse year that everyone else seems to have had. We had a really slow start, and primarily due to some internal technical issues. But the booking process, the kind of demand, the kind of questions, the kind of visitors we're getting to our multiple websites is up dramatically. We've increased our marketing budget by about 40% in 2012, and probably will increase at about 10% over that for 2013. And we're starting to see the benefits of all this marketing in 2013. We're well above any expectations we had for 2013. It's early to make a call on 2013. 2012 will end pretty flat for us, maybe even down percentages. I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10%. We'll see where it ends up. We're expecting 2013 to be a really good year. We're getting great reaction to the gathering.
That's very encouraging.
Yeah, we've gotten a tremendous amount of support. We're running a lot of TV right now, primarily for golf, and we're thinking of doing it for other things as well. So we're going back to some of the traditional advertising mediums, but again, everything's in a test mode.
Sure.
The digital process works very, very well. The 2013 plan that ITB has presented to us is kind of interesting, and they're asking all the right questions that we've asked ourselves for past 2 years.
So a little early maybe to say on 2013, but nothing discouraging at this stage.
Not now, no.
Good.
Very good, yeah. We're hoping that we can, the two major concerns we have is not so much the access, but the limited access for June, July, and August. It creates...
fares are very high at that time.
They are, and what it does, it creates confusion in the marketplace. We are, at that point, we're almost equal to the rest of Europe, and Ireland has been a value proposition. And so I'm worried what will happen in the fall. Will those higher prices stay too long and create an issue?
First of all, let me say that yes, indeed, we have seen that the entirety of travel behavior in the U.S. And the general consumer confidence rose, then it dipped, and now it's on the rise again. So looking forward toward the latter part of this year into the beginning of next year, we're seeing a lot more activity, a lot more interest in travel overseas, and that's kind of consistent with the idea of an increased consumer confidence in this country right now. We'll have to see if it's consistent or if it levels off, but right now it looks very strong.
Alison, I gather that good progress has been made on the US market review. This, of course, will take us through the period to 2015. Can you bring us up to date on the current state of play and when you expect to launch the report?
Absolutely, Eamon. The report and the work on the review has been underway for the last 4 or 5 months, and I have to say we've had great input, great consultation with the industry on both sides of the Atlantic. We've done a lot of workshopping, and we're really coming to a very close conclusion with the work. I think people will see at the end of it is a very clear action plan. There'll be a blueprint which will guide our plans and our strategy over the next 3 years. And we hope to bring that to conclusion and distribute and launch it with the industry in the middle of November. So we've made good progress. I think it's very actionable, and coming off a couple of very, reasonably good years here from the US, and it's going to drive our direction going forward. And it's a piece of work that's going to hopefully inform us and tell us what we need to do to pull ahead of our competitive set.